8:51 here on the Big 550 KTRS. Phantom of the Opera returning to the fabulous Fox Theater. This is a new production by Cameron McIntosh. It'll be here as of today, all the way through the 20th. Another one of those great long runs in the fabulous Fox. David Benoit joins us right now. He is an actor and singer and playing the part of Monsieur Firmin. David, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Have you been to the Fox before?
I have. I actually played the last time we were here.
Excellent.
2 years ago. Yeah.
I always
many shows here, actually.
I always like asking actors and actresses this because it's such a big facility and a lot of people, and you've done Broadway, you know, the theaters there and in Europe are so much smaller, but you get into a place like the Fox. Does that present any kind of a challenge for you and the rest of the cast for a show like this, or any other show for that matter?
Actually, being one of the two comic roles or three comic roles in the show, sometimes we can refer to the bigger theaters as comedy killers, but actually there's an intimacy to the enormous Fox Theater. I've been here about 5 times with different shows over the years, and most of them have been comedies, and I've never encountered the issue. I mean, the theater itself is gorgeous, but as far as it being a comedy killer, it is not. It's a beautiful theater, and the audiences are usually very responsive.
You know, many of us are obviously familiar with Phantom of the Opera. We have seen it. It has been around for many, many years. So this is being plugged as a new version. So how different is it?
Well, it's still the Phantom of the Opera, so the diehard fans won't be disappointed. The chandelier is there, the boat is there. The effects are a lot bigger and grander. Basically, the 20th anniversary, Cameron McIntosh wanted to give the production a kick in the butt, basically, like a reboot, because we've had such advances in technical theater, and it had played the markets across the country, so they wanted to reboot it and present it in a different light to audiences who love the show. So it has a darker feel to it. It's a little grittier. It's a little sexier. It feels modern. It doesn't feel like, not that it is an old-fashioned musical, but it's been around for 30 years, so people are familiar with it. Well, this lets you look at it through a new vision.
You've run Broadway, you've done national touring. What got you interested in theater to begin with?
Oh, my goodness. In 5th grade, I went to go see a production at my school called the Jack Beanstalk Trial. They put Jack on trial for killing the giant. And I sat there, and I said, wow, they're terrible. I can do this much better. I know I can. And that's when it happened.
That's funny.
I basically joined the drama club because I thought they were so bad. I was like, I knew I could do it better. And that's basically how it happened. By 8th grade, I picked the college I was going to go to. I was kind of a crazy kid like that. But, yeah, I had a vision.
And you've never looked back. Okay, I find this interesting. No. You play the tuba?
I do. Yeah, I studied it for 8 years. I studied it from 5th grade to my senior year of high school, and I played it in a lot of shows afterwards, and I did a lot of orchestra and bands in high school and junior high school.
Do you take it? Do you take it with you on the road? I mean,
do you still play?
No, are you kidding? I haven't touched the tuba in probably 20 years now.
Okay, I was just going to say, you probably irritate the living you-know-what out of the rest of the cast members.
Hey, once a tuba player, always a tuba player.
Here comes David with his tuba. I note with interest that you did Jekyll and Hyde, you did Les Mis.
I did.
Dance of the Vampires, Young Frankenstein, All Shook Up, but you did Avenue Q, which to me is one of the funniest shows going. It's hilarious.
Now, when I refer to bigger theaters being comedy killers, I use that show Avenue Q as the template because it's a very funny show, and when you play big houses, it sometimes can really not be good for a comedy, but we played gangbusters here, and we played gangbusters in mostly all the big theaters, so that's why I say the Fox is not, it feels very intimate because we did that show here, and it really, really went well. I love that stuff.
I may have actually seen you in that show. My wife and I. It was really interesting. There were some couples on either side of us, and they just didn't get the whole concept. I don't think they looked up and found out what Avenue Q was really about. And so as a result, it was kind of like, this is kind of vulgar in some places. And I'm sitting there cracking up. And I'm going, this is hilariously funny. I mean, to me.
Yeah, I thought so too. I did the show for 3.5 years. I loved it. I had a ball.
Which character do you play?
I played Nikki in Trekkie Monster, the one who's the monster addicted to porn. Yeah.
This is definitely an adult Muppet,
Oh, yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was adult life lessons. Yeah.
So
boy.
back to Phantom of the Opera, which is starting tonight at the Fox and is going to go through the 20th at the same time. You guys are getting comfortable in the theater and ready to go, obviously, the walkthrough or whatever. And when do you make your first appearance on stage?
Well, we open tonight, and I appear in the show probably 10 minutes after it starts. So, yeah, I play one of the two opera managers, so they're the two comedic roles, and they're nice supporting roles, which is great. When you're 52 years old, you don't have to carry a show on the back, which is wonderful. I have my 40 minutes of stage time, and I love it. Make people laugh a little, and then
And
go back to the dressing room.
what is interesting, because you said you're in your 50s and starting out. How has theater changed since you've been in it?
How has it changed? You know what? It hasn't changed as much as you'd think. The thing is, the younger people are really hungry. They come out of these schools and they are unbelievably, not to sound like an old man, but they're crackerjack. I mean, they really are on top of everything.
Yeah.
They can do everything, and it's really impressive. Not that we weren't when we graduated college way back when, but there are so many people in this industry now, and everybody wants fame. Maybe that's the difference. I've met people in my age bracket necessarily did not want fame. We just want to be working actors. But it seems like they really want it. They're really hungry for it, and that's really the big difference. As far as theater, it's always been about storytelling, and so that aspect of it I don't think has changed. If anything, it's gotten more focused, and we've come a long way. I mean, the storytelling these days is pretty amazing.
Listen, thanks so much for the time. Welcome back to St. Louis and enjoy your stay here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Phantom of the Opera opening tonight, running through the 20th. That's David Benoit, who joins us this morning here on the Big 550.